Well, hello everyone. Looks like it's about 6:05, so we can go ahead and start. My name is Alex Escobedo, and I am the Communication and Events Coordinator here at Lawyers Committee for Better Housing. For Tenant Thursdays today, we are going to be doing a live kind of Q&A panel with two attorneys here at LCBH, Morgan Schuman and Kaitlyn Cota. We're going to be talking about what to do if your landlord does not make repairs to your housing or to your apartment. I don't know if they want to go ahead and kind of say a couple words.
Sure. Thank you all for taking the time to join us on Facebook Live, or if you are watching later, we really appreciate you taking that time. As Alex said, my name is Morgan Schuman. I'm a staff attorney with Lawyers Committee for Better Housing and the Rentervention Project. What we're going to be talking about today, as Alex mentioned, is a little bit about what you can do if you have been requesting that your landlord makes repairs, but they haven't been doing it, what your options might be. Please remember, though, that we can't give legal advice directly through Facebook Live necessarily that relates to your particular situation. So if you do have, a certain situation that you need direct assistance with, we would recommend that you go directly to rentervention.com, where you can get more information about your individual situation and potentially connect with an attorney. But for the purpose of this call, we're going to be talking about what the rights are for most Chicago tenants dealing with issues related to getting repairs done in the apartment. Kaitlyn, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I am Kaitlyn Cota. I am also an attorney with LCBH. Not directly working on the Rentervention project as much as Morgan, but definitely interacting with it and taking on clients and the like. So.
Awesome, thank you. So just to give a heads up, I did post a link on the comment section on Facebook. So if you want to visit or you have any immediate concerns, please go to rentervention.com or click on the link posted. You will be able to connect directly with an attorney there or interact with Rennie and have any questions or concerns answered. So I did post the link, and I did receive some questions regarding repairs posted addressed on the Google form. So I'm gonna ask several questions here, and then the attorneys and will provide some answers. So the first one is, can I refuse access to my landlord if they are requesting to enter to make repairs?
So I'll go ahead and take the first one. And for this question, I would definitely point tenants to sections 050 and 060 of the Residential Landlord and Tenant Ordinance, which we call for simplehand the RLTO. And as a quick reminder, it's important to know that this doesn't apply to all tenants. It does not cover tenants who live in buildings with 6 or less units and whose landlords live in the building. But for all other tenants, it's important to know that under the RLTO, your landlord is required to give you 48 hours notice or 2 days notice before entering your unit, except for emergencies. And they can only enter during reasonable hours, which under the RLTO is between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. So with this question, can I refuse access? The short answer is it depends. If your landlord is requesting to enter to make repairs and it's not an emergency, I think you can feel comfortable denying them access. Also, if they don't give you 48 hours notice or 2 days notice, again, you have that fact, or that you can deny access based on that. Also, given the global health pandemic, if you are in a group that is at a higher risk of severe illness from COVID-19, such as those over 65 years of age, or those with underlying conditions, I think you should certainly feel comfortable refusing access to your landlord to make repairs. But if the situation escalates and you do take that step to refuse access, you can always visit rentervention.com and get some questions answered, or possibly get connected with an attorney.
Definitely. And I definitely second everything that Katie just said. It is something that normally you would have to allow your landlord to come in if they give you the appropriate kind of notice. But the city of Chicago's guidance related to this COVID situation has really made it so that your landlord should not be requesting to come into your apartment to make repairs unless it's really an emergency kind of situation. And the other thing you want to think about is making sure that you weren't the one that requested those repairs. So for example, if you specifically asked your landlord 2 days ago to come and fix something, and then they say that they want to come do that, then it might be unreasonable for you to tell them that they can't enter. But
Awesome, thank you. And just following up on that question, I know Maureen, you just touched up on if you request, but the second one was, can I make a request to my landlord to make a repair? And is there any difference? Can I request any repair, or is there a certain limit or like emergency category for repairs during the current COVID-19 crisis?
There is a distinction between a repair that's an emergency where you have to allow somebody in or the landlord in to fix the problem right away, even without 2 days notice normally, as opposed to, a non-emergency condition that can wait.
Yeah, I'll add to that as well that, with a non-emergency repair, a lot of these repairs can be requested right now. If a tenant is concerned about violating an executive order or anything like that, that shouldn't really be a concern, because the governor's stay-at-home order does include, things like construction as essential business, or it does allow critical trades to continue operating, which would include plumbing, electricians, exterminators, and the like. So all that is to say is that I think many of the non-emergency pairs that tenants would be requesting right now can go forward if they feel that they want to request those from their landlord. I would say that if you are requesting repairs and individuals are coming in your home, be sure to take special care and precautions and take a look at the CDC guidelines. Being very careful about staying 6 feet apart from individuals entering your home if possible, wearing a mask, or being sure to wipe down, clean, or sanitize any surfaces after the repairs have been made.
Awesome. Thank you for those responses. And the last kind of more important question that I saw on the Google form is what if you request your landlord to make a repair and they refuse?
Sure, and I can jump in here. So as a tenant, if you're covered by the residential landlord tenant ordinance, so remember, if you're living in a large building, 6 or more units, or if your landlord does not live in your building, within the city of Chicago, tenants do have certain rights if their landlord is refusing to make repairs. You do want to make sure that the repair that you're requesting is something that is, a serious repair that needs to be done. So think about the difference between maybe wanting to have a fresh coat of paint on your wall as opposed to a repair that's like water leaking or mold growth or something that really can affect the health and safety of you and your family in your apartment. And so for tenants that have repairs that really need to be completed, if the landlord is not doing that, then the tenant needs to make sure to send a written request for services to the landlord. The RLTO requires that to be in a very specific format. It has to be a 14-day letter where you tell your landlord that if they don't make a repair within 14 days to the condition, that you will do one of 3 things. And there's 3 main options that you've got. So the first option is for small repairs. If it's something that you can fix for $500 or half of your rent, whichever is more, then a tenant could choose to fix the problem themselves and then deduct the cost that they paid to do that from their next month's rent. And they would want to provide their landlord with a copy of whatever receipt they have showing the cost of the repair. And the repair has to be done in a workmanlike manner. So they have to do it they have to do the repair well. If that's not an option because the repair is maybe too large or just the tenant doesn't want to take on that responsibility, the second option is that the tenant can terminate their lease if the repair is, or the needed repair is so large that it's, unsafe or impossible for them to continue living there. So that's the second option that tenants have. And then the third option that they have is after sending that 14-day letter, they can choose to withhold a specific portion of their rent based off of the reduced value of the apartment because of the poor conditions that it's in. And we always urge tenants that are thinking about withholding rent to withhold a very small amount compared to the amount that you normally pay for rent. Because if it ever comes down to it in court and your landlord is ever claiming that you're just refusing to pay your rent and potentially tries to take you to eviction court, you would be the one that would have to prove to the court that the amount that you withheld is reasonable. So for all of these, I would encourage tenants, if you think that you want to take one of these actions, to go to rentervention.com, because on Rentervention, you can generate a letter that would be sent to your landlord that could protect you by, giving you the words that you need to tell them in order to allow you to take advantage of this ordinance if it applies to you. And then also you might be able to get connected with a volunteer attorney that can answer any questions that you might have about the process and just walk you through to make sure that you are doing everything by the books.
Yeah, awesome, Morgan. I don't really have much more to add, but I will just give a quick plug shout out for the 311 City Services if it is a repair that is getting to the level of a bit more serious, then you always have that. They're not immediate resource. You might not get somebody from the city coming out right away, but you can always report that to 311.
Awesome. Thank you for those responses and addressing those questions. If you're watching on Facebook and you have any questions related to repairs, please post them in the comment section on the live stream. We can go ahead and read them off to the attorneys and they can answer any questions. I will be posting the link to the Google form in the comment section as well in just a second. So if you have any questions that are not related to repairs, but any other types of housing questions in Chicago, we can go ahead and click on that link and fill the form out and write your questions there. We will be hosting, I believe, weekly web info sessions regarding topics to address those questions every Thursday.
And just to add to what Alex just said, if you would like assistance with a specific condition that you have in your apartment or anything else, you can go ahead and go directly to rentervention.com and try to connect, and we'll see, if we can get an attorney to help you out, or if Rennie, our Rentervention robot, can give you the resources that you really need. If that's, if it's more of a general question that you're just wondering about tenants' rights generally, then yes, please do use that Google form because we use that to inform what topics we will cover on next week, and the week after that's Tenant Thursday.
All right. It looks like I'm not seeing any questions. So I'll give it maybe another minute or two, see if any come in. Okay, so it looks like no questions are coming in. This video will be posted on our Lawyers Committee for Better Housing page. So if you have any questions later that come to mind, please go ahead and put it into the comment section. I will be looking at the questions or any comments that come up, and we can definitely answer them in the future when you post them after this video, or as we mentioned earlier, and it is linked into the comment section, go to reintervention.com or click on the link posted, and you could definitely chat with Rennie and the reintervention team there to get connected with an attorney and provide you any information needed. Looks like a question came in. Are there any specific precautions both me and my landlord should take when making repairs?
I can jump in on that. I would recommend that you take all safety precautions that are being recommended just at a general level. Think of it like if you were going to the grocery store, otherwise interacting with somebody outside of your household. So as of right now, it's probably a good idea to maintain a safe distance from anybody coming into your house. Make sure that they are sanitizing any surfaces that they're touching and that you provide them with that same courtesy, and think about wearing a mask if that's possible.
I would say too, to add to second everything Morgan said, for sure. I would also add, it might be a good idea to reach out to them ahead of time before they show up on site to make a repair, just to kind of confirm, if you have any concerns, and to just communicate, I hope that the repairmen or women are going to be wearing masks and following all the guidelines that Morgan just highlighted. So there are no surprises.
Definitely.
Awesome. Well, thank you for everyone that watched. Like we said, if you have any questions that come to mind later, feel free to post them into the comment section. I will be monitoring, and then the LCBH team will be monitoring any activity or comments posted, or go to reintervention.com or click on the link to chat with Rennie on any repairs or immediate concerns you may have regarding housing during this COVID-19 crisis. I want to thank Morgan and Kaitlyn for hosting conversations with an attorney and answering tenants' questions.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks for moderating.
And thank you to everyone watching. Take care.
Stay safe.